Yes, so the whole crux of all of this is whether or not the father, a Houston doctor, will get his 8-year-old son back, even though the charges here in the federal court does not specifically refer to the child. And even though they're found partly guilty, that does not guarantee the father will get his wish. But what we do know is the grandparents now facing some very serious consequences. We want to show you some video of the two grandparents, Carlos, Jemima Ramirez, as they left the courthouse a little earlier today. About 9:30, the jury returned a verdict finding them guilty of international kidnapping. Now, we did get to speak to the son on this case. He obviously feels like this is not the right verdict for his parents. His son lives here in Houston, but Dr. Chris Brand, who is the father of Nico Brand, feels very differently. He would like to see his son back. His son, even as of today, remains in Brazil. The charges, again, were conspiracy. We can show that to you, and kidnapping. The split verdict, the jury found the grandparents not guilty of conspiracy, but guilty of international kidnapping. And here is the reaction from their son.
I think it's unfair. I thought it was, they haven't done anything wrong. There may be other vehicles that they can go to appeal to this legally.
Yeah.
And let's just pray that justice will be done eventually.
You know, they talk about that this would all be over if they just bring Nico back. What do you think about that argument?
I don't have an opinion on that. That's not my son. It's between my sister and Christopher Brand.
Well, so what happens now? The two grandparents have been released on home confinement. They must live with their son, Roberto, who you just heard from, and not leave the house unless it is to see their lawyers. That is pending sentencing. They could be sentenced anywhere from no time behind bars to 2 or 3 years behind bars. So it will be up to that judge. We'll have a sentencing date here in a little while. We don't know yet. Coming up later on Eyewitness News, we do plan to talk to the father in this case to see how he feels about today's verdict. But nonetheless, this has been a long time coming. It's been a 5-year battle. The son, the little boy, still in Brazil. No finality to that of whether or not he will come back to the United States now or if ever. We're live downtown. Maya Shea, 13 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, because Maya, as you indicated as well, this had nothing to do with the son, but really sort of a measure of trying to persuade the mother to bring the son back. And now that they're guilty, what's the probability of that happening? I guess we don't know.
Well, we don't really know right now, but it is clear from the beginning, talking to a lot of people behind the scenes, that if the mother would simply bring Nico back, the U.S. government most likely would have either dropped the charges against the grandparents, or in the case that the son here in the U.S. would actually testify in favor of his ex-in-laws. None of that happened. They took a gamble on taking this case to trial. They got found guilty of those kidnapping charges. So now it's still a waiting game. Will the grandparents be willing to spend time behind bars for the sake of their grandson while he remains in Brazil, or will their daughter bring that child back? Remains to be seen. I guess we'll have to wait.
All right.